Fall has officially hit the city of Indianapolis. Practice and qualifying are now in the books for the 8 hours of Indianapolis, and we have a couple storylines to talk about heading into tomorrow's 8-hour endurance event. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Mighty Mac here on YouTube. I'm Kevin Rollins, your host for pretty much everything sports car here on the channel. And practice qualifying in the books for the 8 hours of Indianapolis leading into tomorrow's main event. Today, Huber Motorsports in their Porsche 992 claimed pole position over a couple Mercedes, and it was a relatively incident-free day, and that is a good thing, and it shows the quality of the teams and the quality of the drivers to not cause incidents and accidents throughout. A couple of things to talk about here today. So how close this field is, and you'll see this here at the end graphic. The whole field was separated by just a hair over a second in every session today, and that is unheard of for sports cars. Usually it's 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds between the fastest and slowest. You have a quality grid of 22 of the best GT3 cars, drivers, teams in the world competing here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway this year and every year really. And just the fact that the whole field is separated by just 1 second is unbelievable. And that's not just in qualifying, that's every session today. Today we had pre-qualifying, 3 rounds of qualifying, and then hyperpole to round it all off. And man, was there some surprises. Heading into this, I thought Porsche was going to be kind of the weak manufacturer between the 4 that are here, aside from maybe Aston Martin, because they don't necessarily have the teams. They just have the one with TRG. But no, everybody is on parallel par with each other. Ferrari is up there. BMW, they started to show their teeth in qualifying. Mercedes certainly showed their teeth in qualifying. Ferrari, the old 488, shows it still has pace. And Porsche, they have, I don't want to use the word dominated, but they have been strong every session. If it wasn't a Porsche on top, it was right there in second with the Mercedes. And tomorrow's going to be a dogfight between the manufacturers, between the teams. Again, there is no real not contender in this field. There's no one you can say, oh, they're not going to win. Oh, they're just competing for a class one. No. I mean, we have a Pro-Am car on the pole. And this is not a fluke for the Huber Motorsports team. And the driver that put it on pole was Lauren Heinrich. This is not a fluke. They won the 24 Hours of Spa pole this year. And for them to do that in a quality grid of over 70 GT3 cars going against them, there is no class split or anything like that. All the cars are capable of going the same speed. All those 70 cars are capable of claiming pole, and they did it there. They come here, they do it here. So let's talk about some notes. And we're going to kind of start off with an interesting one. Conquest Racing, yes, that Conquest Racing for you IndyCar fans, they burned out their clutch on their Ferrari 296 during the fan parade over on Main Street that we covered the other night. They drove the cars back here to the Speedway, and they burned out the clutch. So they lost quite a bit of practice time and qualifying time here today. And they're not going to be starting necessarily up there. They obviously didn't make the hyperpole session at the end of the day. Another story, Wright Motorsports, they don't know what car they're going to be running for tomorrow. So they have both generations of the Porsches here. On the entry list, it lists as a 991. Then we're talking about the number 120. That's the one with Callum Isla aboard. Just for you IndyCar fans, so you can kind of follow along a little bit. They don't know if they're going to run the 992, the new generation Porsche, or the older 991. It was on the entry list with the old 991, but it practiced and qualified with the 992. But both chassis are available, and they have permission to race either one. So we will see tomorrow morning which car does come out of that garage right over there. Some race notes. So 2 years ago, it was a very incident-filled race, and there was some controversy over the wave-by procedures. And this year, and I believe they did this last year as well, but the wave-by rules are at the discretion of the officials. So that means they can kind of make up their mind whenever they want to on how the wave-by procedures are done. Now, some of the teams obviously you're not happy about. It just depends on the situation. But it was a talking point, and a lot of the teams were very upset about how this played out in 2021. Another note is that there will be no pitting during full course yellows. The pit lane will be closed. Now, that was a bulletin that was released from race control earlier in the day. Now, what that actually means, I mean, obviously you think that the pit lane is going to be closed, but is it going to be closed for the first lap, or are they going to do like an instant thing where they open it up later on, you know, all that fun stuff. So let's dive into kind of where they stack up. Again, there was a unique qualifying procedure here. There was a 15-minute session for each of the 3 drivers. So each driver had 15 minutes in the car. Then they averaged them out, and the best 10 averages moved on to the hyperpole session, which was a 15-minute qualifying session here this evening. And let's talk about kind of where they stacked up. So for the pole shootout, we had the number 20 Huber Motorsports Porsche with Lorenz Heinrich. And I'll tell you what, the Mercedes are great here in qualifying. And to be able to best that towards the end is fantastic for the Porsche team. Porsche have always been weak here. It seemed they've also only have ever had half the contingent that they do right now here. The max they've only had was like 3 cars a couple years ago. But Huber Motorsports showing once again their pole and spot was not a fluke. They come here, they grab another pole. In second place, the number 77, the defending winners, Mercedes-AMG Team Craft Bamboo. That one, of course, is the one with Jules Gounon, Raffaele Marciello, and Maxi Goetz aboard, trying to defend the win from last year. Once again, the Mercedes in pre-qualifying, aka the practice, they didn't really show their teeth. The best car was 11th, and once qualifying kind of kicked in, they actually started to show their teeth. So next up in third place is the other AMG team. That would be Group M Racing, the Mamba car. That one being piloted by Lucas Stoltz, Mauro Engel, and Daniel Huncadea. They were only a quarter of a second off the pole. And again, the entire field is close. In fourth place, we have BMW. Team WRT, it's their first time here with the BMW. The last time they were here was 2021. They had a group of 2 of the R8 LMSs. They're here with the new manufacturer. This is their first time back since 2021. And they've came up to speed with those BMWs here really quickly. One of the team managers said that they offloaded with a setup that was pretty darn close to where they need to be at to run here. Of course, this is not the M4's first time here. But Team WRT, the number 30 car with Philip Eng, Sheldon van der Linde, and Dries Vanthoor, again, only a quarter of a second off. Next up, Bimmer World, a GT World Challenge America team. Of course, very experienced Bill Oberlin on board, Chandler Hull and Robbie Foley on board. They ended up qualifying 5th. 6th, the other Team WRT entry, the number 31 with Augusto Farfus, Charles Verts, and Maxime Martin. We have a batch of Porsches in 7th and 8th. Wright Motorsports, again, that's the team that we don't know which car they're going to run. This isn't the 992 car. This is the car that's going to be the 992 car tomorrow. This is the 45, which is their primary entry. Madison Snow, Trent Hemmett, and Yin Halen aboard. In RS1, they put on a pretty good showing in all the qualifying sessions. They had a very solid day here. And again, all the Porsches are actually really good here. But they qualified 8th with Klaus Bachler aboard. 9th, the old generation Ferrari 488, the GT3 Evo 2020 car. That is the only one of those here. It's the last time we're going to see that car here. Eddie Cheever, the 3rd aboard that car. They qualified 9th for Sky Tempta Racing. And then Samantha Tan Racing in 10th for the 4th BMW with Samantha Tan and Neil Verhagen, the American BMW factory driver, aboard. So that's how the top 10 shakes out for you guys here. It's cold. It's like 55 degrees out here. I don't have a jacket for whatever ungodly reason, but it's only going to get colder in the morning every year. This is the first event in proper fall, but it's going to be an interesting race. You can watch this on the GT World YouTube channel. It will be live streamed. You can keep up with it in real time. It's going to be a fantastic race all around. Again, the grid is so close here. There is not a car that isn't a favorite to win. I implore you to watch this race online. If you're in Indianapolis, come here, come see it. because it's going to be a barn burner tomorrow and tomorrow night. So we will see you tomorrow morning here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for a grid walk. And definitely, again, watch this race. So for Kevin Rollins here, for Mighty Mac behind the camera, we will see you tomorrow for the 8 hours of Indianapolis. Oh yeah, for David, ahoy.